Last night, Billy Graham appeared in my dream and told me something about Jesus that made me wake up in tears. He said, "Bilal, Jesus is weeping right now, and it's not for the reasons you think." I sat up in bed at 3:47 a.m., my heart pounding, my pillow soaked with tears I didn't remember crying. What Billy Graham showed me in that dream wasn't just a message. It was a warning, an invitation, and a revelation all at once. And the most shocking part? He told me that millions of Christians around the world are breaking Jesus's heart every single day without even knowing it. I know what you're thinking. Dreams are just dreams, right? Your subconscious processing the day's events, random neurons firing while you sleep. I thought the same thing. I've had crazy dreams before, dreams that felt real in the moment but faded like mist when I opened my eyes. But this was different. When I woke up, I could still feel Billy Graham's hand on my shoulder. I could still hear the tremor in his voice when he said those words about Jesus weeping. And most importantly, I could still see what he showed me, a vision so clear and so devastating that I haven't been able to think about anything else for the past 18 hours. You need to understand something before I tell you what happened. I'm a storyteller. I create content about faith, about encounters between people, about moments that change lives. But I've never shared anything this personal, this raw, this potentially controversial. What Billy Graham told me goes against a lot of what we hear in modern Christian spaces. It challenges comfortable assumptions. It confronts popular teachings. And honestly, part of me is terrified to share it because I know some people won't want to hear it. But Billy looked me in the eyes and said, "If you don't tell them, you're part of the problem." So here I am. Let me tell you exactly what happened. I'm sitting in my workspace right now, the same room where I spend hours crafting stories for YouTube. There's a half-empty cup of coffee on my desk that's gone cold because I've been staring at my screen for the past hour, trying to figure out how to tell you this story. The morning light is coming through the window, ordinary and peaceful, but I feel anything but peaceful. I feel like I'm standing on the edge of something significant, like my life is divided into before last night and after last night. Let me give you some context about where I was mentally before this dream happened. For the past few months, I've been struggling with something that I haven't really talked about publicly. I create faith-based content. I tell stories about encounters, about divine moments, about people whose lives intersect with the supernatural. And on the surface, everything looks successful. The videos get views, people leave encouraging comments, the channel is growing. But deep inside, I've been wrestling with a question that won't leave me alone. Am I actually making a difference, or am I just creating religious entertainment? I'd watch my own videos and wonder, are people's lives truly changing, or are they just consuming content? Are they encountering Jesus through these stories, or are they just entertained by the drama and inspiration for 15 minutes before scrolling to the next video? It's been eating at me because I didn't get into this to build a following or to create viral content. I got into this because I believe stories have the power to transform lives. But lately, I felt like I'm missing something crucial, like I'm skating on the surface of something much deeper. 3 nights ago, I was lying in bed, unable to sleep, and I prayed a prayer that I didn't think much of at the time. I said, "God, am I doing what you want me to do? Am I telling the right stories? Show me what Jesus truly wants from people, because I don't think I really know anymore." It was an honest prayer, maybe even a desperate one. I wasn't expecting an answer. I wasn't asking for a vision or a supernatural experience. I was just a guy who wanted to make sure his life and his work actually mattered. And then last night happened. I fell asleep around 11 p.m., exhausted from editing a video that I'd been working on all day. Within what felt like seconds, I found myself standing in a place I'd never been before. It was a massive auditorium, the kind with thousands of seats rising up in every direction. But something was wrong with this place. Half of the seats were filled with people, but they were frozen, completely still, like statues. Their eyes were open but empty. Their hands were raised in worship, but there was no life in their expressions. It was the most disturbing thing I'd ever seen. The other half of the auditorium was completely empty. Not a single person. Just rows and rows of vacant chairs stretching into darkness. I felt this overwhelming sense of loss looking at those empty seats, like each one represented something precious that had slipped away. And then I heard footsteps behind me. I turned around and there he was. Billy Graham. Not the elderly Billy Graham from his final years, but not young either. He looked timeless, like someone who existed outside of age. His face had that same gentle strength I'd seen in videos of his crusades. His eyes carried both deep compassion and an urgency that made my stomach tighten. "Bilal," he said, and hearing my name from his lips made my knees weak. "Do you know why I've come to you?" I couldn't speak, just shook my head. He gestured to the frozen people in the seats. These are the ones who said yes to Jesus but never learned what he truly wants. They came to the altar, they prayed the prayer, they joined the church, but they never understood what breaks his heart and what brings him joy. Then he pointed to the empty seats. And these are the ones who walked away because they were shown a version of Jesus that wasn't real. They were given religion when they were hungry for relationship. They were given rules when they were desperate for love. They were given judgment when they needed grace. I felt tears starting to form in my eyes. "Why are you showing me this?" Billy Graham stepped closer, and I could see the emotion in his face. "Because Jesus sent me to tell you something. Something I wish I had emphasized more in my 60 years of ministry. Something that every believer needs to understand right now, in this moment in history." He paused, and the weight of what he was about to say hung in the air like thunder before a storm. "Jesus is weeping, Bilal. And I need to show you why." Billy Graham placed his hand on my shoulder, and suddenly we were no longer in the auditorium. We were standing in what looked like a room filled with light, but not a blinding light. It was warm, gentle, live. And in the center of that light I saw a figure. I knew immediately it was Jesus, though I couldn't see his face clearly. But I could see his posture. His shoulders were shaking. He was weeping. "Listen to what breaks his heart," Billy whispered. And then I heard it not with my ears, but in my spirit. Jesus' voice, filled with a grief so profound it made my chest ache. "They come to me for what I can give them, but they don't want me. They want my blessings, my protection, my provision, but they don't want my presence. They worship me on Sunday and ignore me the rest of the week. They call me Lord but don't ask me what I want them to do. They pray for their needs but never ask about my heart." Billy Graham's grip on my shoulder tightened. "Do you hear it, Bilal? This is what Jesus truly wants, and most believers have no idea. Let me tell you the 5 things that Jesus is longing for, the 5 things that would turn his weeping into joy." The scene around us shifted, and I saw images accompanying each truth Billy spoke. "First," Billy said, "Jesus wants your time before he wants your service. He's tired of believers who are too busy doing things for him to actually be with him. You can serve in every ministry, attend every event, volunteer for every cause, but if you're not spending intimate time with him, just you and him, in the secret place where no one sees and no one applauds, you're missing what he desires most. He wants you, not your productivity." I saw an image of a woman rushing from one church activity to another, exhausted, burned out, never stopping to sit at Jesus' feet like Mary did. And I felt the sadness radiating from that scene. "Second," Billy continued, "Jesus wants your honesty more than your perfection. Stop pretending you have it all together. Stop putting on the fake smile at church while you're dying inside. Stop hiding your doubts, your questions, your struggles behind religious language. He wants you to come to him broken and real, not polished and pretending." The Pharisees were perfect on the outside. The sinners who encountered Jesus were honest about their mess. Which ones did he embrace? I saw a man sitting alone in his car in a church parking lot, crying, afraid to go inside because he thought his struggles would disappoint God. And I felt Jesus' heart breaking for that man. Third, Billy's voice grew more intense. Jesus wants your obedience in the small things before he'll trust you with big things. Stop waiting for a grand calling while you ignore what he's already asked you to do. Forgive that person. Stop that habit. Give to that need. Speak that word of encouragement. Have that difficult conversation. You want a big ministry? Start by obeying him in the tiny moments that no one else will ever see. I saw 1,000 small moments of disobedience, little compromises, Small rebellions that people justified because they seemed insignificant. And I understood how those small refusals grieved the heart of Jesus. Fourth, Billy said, and now I could hear emotion in his own voice. Jesus wants your love expressed to others, not just sung to him. You can lift your hands in worship, you can cry during praise songs, you can feel goosebumps during a powerful sermon, but if you walk past the homeless person without seeing them, if you ignore the lonely neighbor, if you're harsh with your family, if you gossip about other believers, then your worship is just noise. He said the world would know his disciples by their love for one another. Not by their correct theology. Not by their spiritual experiences. By their love. I saw churches splitting over minor disagreements, believers destroying each other on social media, Christians who wouldn't speak to family members over political differences, all while singing songs about God's love on Sunday. And I felt the crushing disappointment Jesus felt watching his family tear itself apart. And fifth, Billy Graham turned to face me directly, his eyes locked on mine. Jesus wants you to trust him more than you trust your own understanding. Stop trying to figure everything out. Stop demanding explanations for every trial. Stop living in fear about the future. Stop trying to control outcomes. He wants you to surrender control and rest in his love, even when nothing makes sense. Especially when nothing makes sense. That's what faith actually is. I saw people paralyzed by anxiety, believers who claimed to trust God but lived like everything depended on them, Christians who were drowning in worry about things they couldn't control. And I understood that this lack of trust wounded Jesus because it showed they didn't really believe his promises. The light around us began to intensify, and I felt my knees buckling under the weight of what I'd just heard. Billy, I said, my voice cracking, this is a hard message. People don't want to hear that they're breaking Jesus's heart. They want encouragement. They want to feel good about their faith. If I share this, they'll think I'm being judgmental. They'll say I'm condemning people. They'll say I'm not showing grace. Billy Graham's expression softened, but his voice remained firm. Bilal, I spent 60 years preaching to millions of people. I was called too simple by intellectuals and too harsh by liberals and too soft by fundamentalists. Do you know what I learned? The people who are truly hungry for God will receive the truth even when it's uncomfortable. The ones who just want their ears tickled will reject it no matter how gently you say it. Your job isn't to make everyone happy. Your job is to faithfully deliver the message you've been given. I felt tears streaming down my face now. But I'm just a YouTube creator. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a pastor. Who am I to deliver a message like this? Billy smiled, and it was a smile full of understanding. I was just a farm boy from North Carolina. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. Do you think I felt ready when I preached to 100,000 people at Madison Square Garden? I was terrified. But I opened my mouth, and God filled it with his words. The same will happen for you. He stepped closer and placed both hands on my shoulders now. Listen to me carefully. You asked God to show you what Jesus truly wants. He answered your prayer. Now you have a choice. You can play it safe, create comfortable content that makes people feel good but doesn't challenge them to change. Or you can be faithful, deliver this message, and trust God with the results. Some people will be angry. Some will unsubscribe. Some will call you self-righteous. But others, the ones with hungry hearts, they will be transformed. They'll finally understand what Jesus is longing for. They'll stop breaking his heart and start bringing him joy. I could feel the weight of the commission settling on me like a mantle. How do I do this without sounding like I'm condemning people? Billy's eyes twinkled. You start by applying it to yourself. You show them that you're speaking from your own conviction, not from a place of superiority. You let them see that this message wrecked you first. And you speak with the compassion of Jesus, who wept over Jerusalem even while confronting their sin. Truth and love aren't opposites, Bilal. They're dance partners. The scene began to fade, and I felt myself being pulled back toward consciousness. Billy's final words echoed in my spirit. Jesus is weeping, but he's also hoping. Hoping that someone will finally understand. Hoping that his people will give him what he's truly longing for. Be that messenger. Please. Time is shorter than people realize. I woke up gasping, tears already streaming down my face before I even fully realized I was awake. My wife stirred next to me. "Are you okay?" she mumbled, half asleep. I couldn't answer. I just sat there in the dark, my heart pounding, Billy Graham's words still echoing in my mind. The clock on my nightstand read 3:47 a.m. I grabbed my phone and started typing everything I could remember, terrified I would forget even a single detail. For the next 3 hours, I sat in my home office, just processing what had happened. I wasn't questioning whether it was real. I knew it was real in the way you know the difference between a regular dream and something divine. The presence I'd felt, the weight of the message, the clarity of Billy Graham's voice, it was all too vivid, too purposeful, too life-altering to be just my subconscious playing tricks on me. But I was wrestling with something else. I was afraid of sharing this message because I knew it would cost me something. In the YouTube faith space, you succeed by being encouraging, uplifting, inspiring. You give people hope and positivity. You don't challenge them. You don't make them uncomfortable. You certainly don't tell them they might be breaking Jesus's heart. I could already imagine the comments. Who does he think he is? This is so judgmental. Where's the grace? Unsubscribed. But then I remembered Billy's words. Your job isn't to make everyone happy. Your job is to faithfully deliver the message you've been given. And I thought about Jesus weeping. Actually weeping over believers who loved his gifts but not his presence. Over Christians who sang worship songs but wouldn't love their neighbors. Over people who called him Lord but never asked what he wanted. How could I stay silent about that just to protect my subscriber count? Over the next 2 days, I started seeing evidence of this message everywhere. I watched a woman at church lift her hands in passionate worship, only to gossip viciously about another member in the parking lot 5 minutes later. I saw a post from a Christian influencer talking about God's blessings while publicly mocking someone who disagreed with their politics. I caught myself scheduling prayer time like a business meeting, checking it off my to-do list without actually connecting with God. The message wasn't just for other people. It was for me. So here's what I need to ask you, and I need you to be completely honest with yourself as you answer. When was the last time you spent time with Jesus just to be with him, not to ask him for something? When was the last time you obeyed him in something small that no one else would ever know about? When was the last time you showed his love to someone in a costly way, not just a convenient way? When was the last time you trusted him with something you desperately wanted to control? I'm not asking these questions to condemn you. I'm asking them because Jesus is asking them. He's not angry with you. He's not disappointed in you. He's longing for you. He's weeping because he wants more of you, and we keep giving him less. We keep offering him our activity when he wants our attention. We keep showing him our service when he wants our surrender. We keep giving him our Sunday mornings when he wants our whole lives. If Billy Graham's message is stirring something in your heart right now, that's the Holy Spirit. Don't brush it off. Don't make excuses. Don't get defensive. Just respond. Tell Jesus, I want to give you what you truly want. Show me how. That simple prayer, prayed with a sincere heart, can change everything. Let me pray for us. Father, thank you for loving us enough to tell us the truth. Thank you for showing us what breaks your heart so we can stop doing it. Give us the courage to be honest with you, the obedience to follow you in the small things, the love to reflect you to others, and the trust to rest in your goodness. Help us give you what you truly want. We don't want to break your heart anymore. We want to bring you joy. In Jesus' name. If this message impacted you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And let me know in the comments what God spoke to you. Jesus is waiting. Let's give him what he's longing for.